You have not lost weight yet, or maybe you keep gaining it back, probably because you don't know what you're doing, probably because you're just not serious enough about what you want. So today I am going to tell you why you keep failing at weight loss, okay? Why you can't seem to ever lose weight, or why you can't seem to ever keep it off. Of course, this is based off of my own experience, both with success and failure at weight loss. For those of you who are new here, welcome back to my channel. My name is Whitney Holcomb, and I am author of the book, 1 Year, 100 Pounds. My book tells the story of my 100-pound weight loss that I did all on my own in 1 year when I was 14 years old, and I managed to keep it off for over 20 years. For those of you who are interested in reading more about my story, you can check out my book, 1 Year, 100 Pounds. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I will leave the link below in the description. I was successful both at losing the weight and maintaining a healthy weight for, years up into my adulthood. I'm 34 now. That being said, I have also fluctuated in weight. And as many of you know who follow my channel, I got up to 160 in the past couple of years, and I have also managed to lose that weight again. I lost almost 40 pounds, and I am now maintaining it and feel healthier and happier than ever before. So today I'm going to tell you why I was so successful, or what I think, or I believe why I was so successful, why I think you're not successful, as well as specific tips and things I personally do and have done in the past to both lose weight and maintain it. The number one reason I believe you are failing at weight loss is that you don't actually have a plan. You have some kind of idea in your head that you want to lose weight, okay? So you say, okay, I want to lose weight, so I'm going to start eating healthier and working out. You've probably said this a million times before. And maybe you kind of do it for a while, like when you remember, you might go for a walk, or you might try to eat an apple instead of French fries. But over time, that motivation kind of wanes. You quickly fall back into your bad habits, likely because you don't even remember that you were trying to be good in the first place. How many times has that happened where you're like, okay, I'm going to start a diet today, and then lunchtime comes around and you're reaching for the French fries, and literally once you finish your lunch, you're like, oh damn, I was supposed to be on a diet today. This is because you don't actually have a plan. Okay, saying that you're going to eat healthier and exercise, okay, what exactly does that mean? Because that is very different for everyone, okay? And there's also a level of how much you need to exercise and how much you need to eat healthier that will determine whether or not you will lose weight. Okay, eating like some broccoli once a week at dinner instead of potato chips, that's awesome. It's definitely healthier for you than the potato chips. But if you're only doing that like once a week and you're not doing anything else to change your diet or your habits, that's just not enough, okay? I remember one time someone was asking advice for, what I do to lose weight. This was back when I was a teenager, and she was also a teenager at the time, so I get it. But, she asked me oh, okay, Whitney, what do you do for your workouts? How long do you work out, blah, blah. So I told her, and at the time, and this has been my steadfast rule for a long time, I worked out at least 3 days per week for at least 30 minutes at a time. And she kind of looked at me surprised, and she's like, oh, well, I've only been doing 5 minutes on the treadmill, thinking that was going to do something. No, it's likely not. Look, 5 minutes on the treadmill, it's better than nothing, especially considering where you're starting. But you need to have an actual plan, a plan that you know is going to work. So if you don't know anything about health and exercise, then you probably just shouldn't make it up as you go. I would suggest finding someone, whether it's another, fitness coach, personal trainer, some kind of fitness plan, some kind of diet plan to use as a guide, okay? You don't have to follow it exactly, right? There's so many different ways you can lose weight, but you need to be more specific with your plan. So what that looks like is you need to, okay, don't just say you're gonna work out, how many days you're gonna work out, and specifically what days are you going to work out? You need to plan it in your schedule. Are you gonna work out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Are you gonna work out every other day? Are you gonna work out on the weekends? You need to know which days you're going to work out. And look, I know, things change, that's fine. You don't always have to follow your plan exactly, but you need to at least have a plan. You need to have some kind of reference point. Same with eating healthier. Okay, you're gonna eat healthy. Well, what does that mean? Okay, because again, for weight loss, there's eating healthy, which is awesome, but there's also just eating in a calorie deficit, which is the number one rule for weight loss. You need to be in a calorie deficit. So you need to know exactly what are you going to eat? What are you going to do for your workouts? I have mentioned this before in previous videos, but I'm gonna say it again because it really is central to my initial weight loss, is I kept a journal. I started this journal when I was 13, 14, I think, right before the year when I lost the weight. And in that journal, number one, I did a list of goals, which I will probably, expand more in another video, but a lot of those goals ended up happening and coming true. But what I also did when I started to, when I decided that I was going to lose weight, when I decided that I was just done being fat, I started planning what I was going to eat and what kind of workouts I was was going to do. This just came from my own research. Like I, read a lot of different magazines, like health magazines and health and fitness books, and determined that, okay, I need to be working out at least 3 days per week for at least 30 minutes a day. And I needed to eat healthier. And I knew the basics of, how to eat healthier. Apples better than French fries, wheat bread's better than white bread, whatever. But in the very beginning, I didn't do anything drastic. It was just more, I started planning what I was going to do the night before. So I would do things like, okay, like I'm going to have cereal for breakfast in the morning. And then at lunchtime, I'm going to get the pizza, but I'm going to try to get a side of fruit instead of the French fries I'd usually get. And then for dinner, I'll probably just have to eat, whatever my dad makes, but I'm only going to have like one helping. So I would try to plan it out the day before and try to stick to that plan as much as possible. I wasn't always successful. Sometimes, things happen. I was still new to it, cravings happened. But if I wasn't successful, I would go back at the end of the day and I would write, okay, what exactly I did eat instead. It was just a way to hold myself accountable so I could look back on my week and see what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong. I did the same thing with my workouts. I would write, in the same page, like, okay, what am I going to do for my workout tomorrow? What days am I going to work out? And I would try to stick to that as much as possible. And again, like I said, be specific, right? Write exactly what you're going to eat, write exactly what you're going to do for your workout. So I would be like, okay, I'm going to do 30 minutes on the treadmill and I'm going to, do running and walking intervals. So you need to have a plan before you start. Just saying that, oh, you're going to lose weight and you're going to try to eat healthier, you're going to try to work out more. That's not enough. Okay. That's not actually being committed, because if you were being committed, you would actually commit. You would make a plan. You would be serious about it. The second reason why you're still fat and you're having trouble losing weight, and you're probably gaining it back again, is because you don't prep enough. And this goes back to planning, okay? So yes, planning your meals, planning your workouts, but there's also other prep you should be doing. For example, something I've noticed that has been really central to my weight loss success now that I'm older is meal prepping. I am way more likely to stick to my calorie deficit, to stick to my meal plan, if I have most of my stuff already like prepped for me. Especially if you are working full time and you're tired and you come home, yeah, you know that you should make that grilled chicken and broccoli that's in the refrigerator, but you're hungry and you want to eat now. So you're going to go for something easier, something that probably is not on your meal plan. The same thing goes for your snacks, for your breakfast, for your lunch. You should have these things prepped as much as possible. Honestly, this is going to help you a lot. I mean, this is just, like I said, it's been very central to my weight loss success as an adult. I try to meal prep as much as possible, just cooking things in big batches. So I have in the refrigerator. So, I work from home now. So I don't have to worry so much about, like packing my lunch and going out or whatever. Even still, like I'm a snacker. So if I'm home and I know that there's stuff in the kitchen, then I'm more likely to, snack on stuff. But if I know that I have like food that's already prepped, it's already cooked and it's in the refrigerator, I'll grab that instead of just going to the pantry and like snacking on whatever's in there. So if you do not already meal prep, if you've never done it before, start now. Take one day out of your week, maybe a couple days out of your week, plan out your meals, cook most of that food. I understand you can't, cook everything ahead of time, but cook most of it, especially like your staples, things that you make in big batches, right? Like your grains. You can even cook some meat ahead of time. You can even go so far as like pre-portioning it, putting it in little containers, and then having it in the fridge so you can just take it out. I personally don't do that because I don't need to, because I work at home, but I could see how that could be really helpful if you have to work outside and you just need to like grab something, put in your lunchbox. So you need to start prepping. You need to take time out of your week to plan out your meals, to cook them. You also need to take time out of your week to prep for your workouts. You need to be committed. And what that means is you're going to have to rearrange your schedule so that getting fit, losing weight is a priority. I know some people will say, oh, it's toxic. You shouldn't say no to social engagements or skip a party because you need to work out. Why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you? Especially if you are fat right now, especially if you have diabetes, especially if you are in an unhealthy situation right now. That should be your main priority, okay? And maybe you don't have it now, but if you are fat right now, if you're overweight, if you're obese, that could be a very real reality for you very soon. So yes, you should rearrange your schedule around your workouts. You should rearrange your schedule around whether or not, you can get a healthy meal here, or whether you need to skip like a birthday party because you just don't have the strength right now to not binge, right? At the end of the day, your health, number one, is the main thing, right? Because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. But also just if it's your mental health, if you just are not happy in your body the way you are right now, if you just want to look better, that is incredibly important to your overall happiness in life. So why wouldn't you rearrange your schedule around things that are going to make you more successful, make you happier, help you live longer? What planning or rearranging your schedule around your fitness and your, your workouts and your meals could look like is like, just go ahead and tell your friends, your coworkers ahead of time, like, look, I'm probably not gonna be able to do like our Saturday brunches anymore because I gotta do this. I gotta go to my cycling class. Or you know what? Like, I don't know that I can watch your dog this weekend, or I can, watch your kids every other week because look, I got to get to my class. I got to make it work. Okay. If your friends don't understand this, then they may not really be your friends. Okay. I've said this so many times in other videos, like sometimes people just won't understand your goals. They may even try to sabotage you, but you have to do what's best for you. So yes, you need to rearrange your schedule around your priorities. That is true commitment. If you really want to lose weight and keep it off, then this has to become your life now. Third reason why you can't lose weight and why you keep gaining it back is that you lack discipline. The thing is, motivation only lasts so long. And motivation is great. You have to keep motivating yourself somehow, find ways to inspire yourself. It really can be a key factor to getting you started. But as we all know, we've all been there. It's like, oh yeah, you're so excited to start this new program and maybe you go strong for a week, maybe even 2 weeks. But after a while, it kind of gets old, right? And then you kind of start to, that cake is looking pretty good. I mean, I've been doing really well. Maybe just a bite, maybe 2 bites. Before you know it, you slip back into your old habits. Or maybe you get frustrated because you don't see the results that you want to see right away. And so you get demotivated and you're like, oh, screw it. I'll just, go back to doing what I was doing before. That's because you're not disciplined. So how do you become more disciplined? The thing is, being disciplined or discipline in general, it works like a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger you get. I have mentioned before, and I mentioned in my book too, something called the no game. And really what this is just a way to build your discipline. So it's any time that your old thoughts creep in, the thoughts that tell you, oh, just stay on the couch today. You don't need to work out. Or the old thoughts that say, oh, just eat the potato chips. It's fine. You can work it off later. Anytime those old sabotaging thoughts come back, and they will, say no immediately. You can say it out loud. You can say it in your head. Just say no. And I think what works even better is when you say it, right, either out loud in your head, and then you do a physical action to kind of just reinforce that you are serious, that you are not falling for these old thought patterns. So if someone offers you some potato chips, you say no. Literally push it away, right? If you're walking by, the junk food aisle in the store and you see the candy bar you always get, immediately say no and then just, rush away. Go to the other aisle. The more you do this, number one, it acts like a pattern interrupt, right? So you're having these thoughts, all of a sudden, you say no, you just interrupt that thought, right? You interrupt that thought process so it can't go on anymore. But it also just reinforces to yourself. It builds up your self-confidence in yourself because you realize, oh, I actually do have discipline. I do have control over myself, over my desires. And the more you do it, the stronger you become, the easier it becomes. And so that's something that I have mentioned before too, is that yes, discipline is hard at first, but over time, when you become stronger, it doesn't always feel like discipline. It doesn't always feel like work. Like, I swear to you, once you get used to eating healthy, to working out, it's not going to be like a chore all the time. It's just going to be something that you do. It becomes part of your daily habits. So some of you guys have asked how long did it take for you to not crave junk food? Or how do you, stay away from junk food when you go to the grocery store? Honestly, because I've been doing it so long, I just don't even think about it. I mean, I go to the store and I just walk right past that stuff because that stuff is just not part of my life anymore. I don't miss it. But to start, you have to be tougher on yourself and you have to work at it. And I really think the no game helps with that. But this is probably the toughest part, right? Because I can give you a workout program. I can tell you exactly what to eat. I can tell you exactly what you need to do, but none of that will matter unless you build up your discipline enough to actually do it. Because at the end of the day, it is only you who can do the work. No one else can do it for you. You guys know, I love my stationary bike, but I was in dire need of a new one. Fortunately, YesSoul Fitness heard my prayers and sent me this brand new G1M Plus stationary bike. This stationary bike is super sleek and beautiful and features a comfy seat cushion, an easy to use resistant adjustment knob. But its best feature is the LCD display screen, which tracks your calories and mileage during your rides. You can also hook it up to your phone and play your favorite workout videos off YouTube. The screencast feature makes following along with my cycling workouts way more enjoyable and motivating. This bike is definitely an upgrade from my previous bike, and I am so excited to use it daily. Check out the link below in the description for the fan discount code of $100 off to get started with your G1M Plus bike today. You won't regret it. Oh, and the bike packaging makes a perfect cat house for your kitty. FYI. The next reason you can't lose weight is because you haven't fully committed. You haven't truly decided that you are going to do this. You just truly might not believe that you actually can do it. And yes, you may have been doing all the steps above. You might be saying, well, you know what? I did the meal planning. I worked out. I did this, but I still failed. I still couldn't lose the weight, or I couldn't, keep up with it. And sometimes that goes beyond discipline. Sometimes it's not that you don't have the discipline. Sometimes it's that you are self-sabotaging. Again, why would you do that? You're saying like, why? Of course I want to lose weight. Of course I want to be skinny. Like who wouldn't want those things, right? Who wouldn't want their dream life? Who wouldn't want to be successful? But there might be something in you that doesn't believe that you truly deserve it. Or there might be something in you that just doesn't truly believe that you can do it. Maybe you have those intrusive thoughts that continue to tell you that you're a failure. Maybe, because you failed so many times, you don't believe that you can actually do it. You don't feel successful in any other area of your life. So why would this time be any different? You are your own worst enemy. You are talking yourself out of it. And in turn, you are getting into either such a bad mental space where it is hard for you to keep up with, these healthier habits. It's hard for you to change, or you are creating drama or some kind of circumstances in your life that make it harder. Like for example, I'm sure this has happened to all of us before. It's happened to me before, where maybe it's like, okay, I am, decide I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do it this time. And then, you sprain your ankle. Okay. Well, that makes, working out kind of hard. Right. And so you then use that as an excuse, like, oh, we'll see, like, I tried, I was going to do it, but this stuff always happens to me. Like I just have bad luck. It's just not meant for me, right? I believe that is honestly yourself or your subconsciously creating these scenarios where it gives you an excuse to throw in the towel. Because I think on a subconscious level, you are so scared of change. You are so scared of trying. You are so scared of becoming a different person. Even though you say you want to, on some level, like I said, you either feel like you don't deserve it or you're scared of it. And so you're creating these scenarios like, oh, spraining your ankle. So it gives you a way out. So it gives you that kind of excuse like, well, look, see, I did try, but I sprained my ankle. What am I going to do? Can't work out when I have a bad ankle. I guess I just have to go back to my old habits. So I want you to really think about what you want. I want you to really decide, and this might take like some deep inner work, because there are many reasons why we are pushing away what we truly want. There are probably a lot of deep rooted, reasons, probably go back to bad relationships, how you feel about yourself, your self-worth, might go back to your childhood. A lot of mine stemmed from being bullied as a kid. And again, sometimes it's fear. There's a quote that sometimes it's not that we fear the dark, it's that we fear our greatest potential or something like that. It's very true, because on some level, again, you say you want to be skinny, you want to be this and that, but you may actually be afraid of being seen, because you know that, okay, when that happens, you're going to have everything you want. And you, like I said, you feel like you don't deserve it, or you feel like that's just too scary, like you're not going to be able to handle it, like people are going to treat you differently. I had this kind of realization, not too long ago, where I was thinking about, things I wanted, but I realized that honestly, I was just kind of scared. I was thinking about all the bad scenarios about, okay, well, if I do get this, then this is going to happen, right? Because, it's like they say, more money, more problems, right? More success, more problems. And sometimes that's very true. No matter where you are in your life, you could lose weight, be really skinny, be really pretty. You're still going to have problems. We all have problems. I, sat there for a while and all these, scenarios running through my head, oh, this is awful. This could happen. And it was, really scary and this and that. And then finally I decided, yeah, you know what? All those things could happen. They could. It could be really scary. I could fail a million times. This could happen, that could happen, but I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to be successful because I decide right now. So no matter what, I am going to be successful. No matter what comes my way, I am going to work through it, because I've decided that success, at the end of the rainbow, that's for me. That's mine. I claim it. So yeah, maybe it will be tough. Maybe I will have to embarrass myself. Maybe I will have to fail a million times. Maybe people will be mean to me, blah, 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 whatever. But I don't care. And at that moment, I swear to you, all my fear just kind of went away. And it just kind of became clear, because I decided I'm going to do it. And what's weird? Sometimes once you truly decide that you're going to do it, no matter what comes your way, no matter what obstacles happen, no matter what people say, honestly, you start to find that it gets easier. It does. So that's what I mean by decide. Decide that you are going to be skinny. Decide that you're going to lose weight. Decide that you're going to do it this time, even though you failed a million times before. Not this time, because you decided that no matter what comes your way, whether you sprain your ankle, whether you get sick, whether, someone starts calling you names because they're jealous that you're losing weight, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're going to work through it. You're going to be strong. The next reason why you can't lose weight is that you don't have a way to track your progress, or you are not tracking your food intake. You're not tracking your workouts. You're just kind of going with the flow, working out when you feel like it, eating when you feel like it. This goes back to what I said about keeping a journal. Again, I have found that to keep myself accountable and to keep myself on, the path of weight loss, I need to have some kind of way to track it. So again, whether it's tracking what you eat, it's tracking your calories, it's tracking your portions, you're tracking your weight, your measurements, all those things are important. So you can see like how far you've come or whether or not you're being successful. Because I don't know how many times this has happened to you guys where it's like, okay, you actually have been pretty good with eating healthy and working out. And you think, okay, I must have lost like 10 pounds by now. And you check the scale and maybe you gained weight, okay? So again, like I said too, weight loss is very finicky. It is all about calorie deficit. I don't care how much you work out. I don't care how healthy you eat. If you're not in that calorie deficit and if you're not tracking it somehow, if you are not counting calories and you need to somehow track your portions, you should be tracking your workouts too, because I think, again, fitness is part of the equation of not only losing weight, but keeping it off. So, okay, you can track like, well, yesterday I ran 3 miles. Okay. Today I ran 3.1 or, next month, you want to work up to running 6 miles. But if you're not keeping track of any of this stuff, then you're not going to know. You're not going to be able to see your progress. You're not going to be able to see where you need to do better. You're not going to be able to see, okay, what you did wrong, what you did right. So that again, at the end of the month, when you're like, okay, why didn't I lose weight? Well, if you look back at what you were eating, what you're doing, then you can look and you can be like, okay, well, actually, maybe I need to change this about my diet, or I need to change this about my workouts. So keeping track of your progress will keep you on the right path. And it can also keep you motivated too. Because when you do see that progress, whether it's, in your inches or your weight, then you can be like, yeah, congratulate yourself. You deserve it. All right. Next reason why you can't lose weight, or more importantly, why you can't keep it off, is because you have not accepted yet that this is your new life. So I've said so many times before, when you lose weight, okay, some people think that, okay, I can just go on this diet and I can work out for like a month or 2 months, maybe even a year. And then as soon as I get to my goal weight, then I can just stop doing all that. I can go back to eating how I was eating before. I can go back to sitting on the couch all day. I don't have to work out as much. And no, that's not reality whatsoever. If you want to be a skinny person, if you want to be a fit person, then you have to act like a skinny person. You have to act like a fit person. You have to eat like a skinny person. You have to work out like a skinny person. That's just the reality. So if you are going through your workouts right now, you absolutely hate your workouts, you absolutely hate what you're eating because you're only eating broccoli and apples or whatever, and you are just waiting for the day when you don't have to do this anymore, then you're gonna gain the weight back, because that's just not how it is. That's just not how it works. Once you lose weight, maintaining it is a lifelong thing, okay? And no, I don't mean that you need to track your calories all the time. Some people do, but you don't necessarily have to if that's not your thing, but you do have to monitor your progress. You have to continue eating healthy. You have to continue working out. These need to be part of your daily routine. So you need to find a sustainable way to lose the weight so that once you do, you can keep maintaining it. So you need to find foods, healthy foods that you enjoy. You need to find workouts that you enjoy, even if it's just walking or whatever. And guess what? If you don't enjoy any of those things, you're gonna have to learn to enjoy it, okay? Or just learn to suck it up. I don't know what to tell you, right? Like if you want to maintain your weight, you're gonna have to maintain a certain lifestyle. So whether that's portion control, whether it's tracking your macros, whether it's, sticking to a running program or just walking, you're gonna have to do this for the rest of your life if you want to keep it off. So the sooner you accept this, the sooner that you accept, it's gonna be hard to do all this, the sooner that you accept that I'm gonna have to do a lot of this stuff even afterwards, honestly, the easier it gets. And then finally, reason why you maybe you are someone, you actually have been successful at losing weight, but you can't keep it off, is not because of all the reasons I mentioned before, but it really could come down to you just not truly believing that you deserve to be happy. It's because you are still in self-sabotage mode. Some people have that self-sabotage mode, like, I mentioned earlier, when they are trying to lose the weight, and that keeps them from actually losing it. You may not actually have that self-sabotage mode until you actually get what you want. And that's why you keep regaining the weight, because you are able to lose it, right? You're able to understand like, okay, you want this kind of life, and then you get it. But once you get it, you go back into old thinking patterns. You become self-conscious. You feel unworthy. And so you go back into your binge eating patterns, or, you skip your workouts, you get into destructive behaviors. Maybe you start drinking every weekend. And this is because you have not released your fear of being seen. You have not released your fear of being successful, of having everything that you want, because maybe on some level you don't feel you deserve it. But that's why I'm telling you right now that you are. I think we have all been there before. I think men and women both experience this. Women maybe more for, all kinds of different reasons. This is something you're going to have to work through on your own. It's very personal. But when I tell you that the fact that you even have these thoughts that you're not deserving, that, you're not worthy, blah, 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 is actually probably a very clear indication that you are. Because actual bad people, they don't worry about that. Okay, that's why a lot of times bad people are very successful. Because they believe that they can have everything they want. They believe that they are God's gift to the earth, no matter what they do. And so they're successful. Your problem is that you're probably too kind. You're probably too good of a person. I don't care what you've done before. Again, the fact that you feel bad about it means you're a good person. It means that you are deserving of being happy. It means that you are deserving of having success. You don't have to play small anymore. So stop playing small. Start going after your dreams. Start believing in yourself. Start treating yourself better, okay? Start holding yourself accountable. Be harder on yourself when it comes to crushing your goals, when it comes to being healthier, when it comes to being happier. Stop those limiting beliefs in their tracks and understand that you can have anything you want in this life and only you can make it happen. So get to it, ladies or men. If you were looking for a sign to get up off your ass and start changing your life, this is it. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. The support really means a lot, and I love hearing from you guys in the comments. Tell me what you think. I know some of you are not always so happy with me in the comments, but I also know that a lot of you do find these videos motivating, and honestly, that's what it's all about. So I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.